So this video is just going to be me toying around with this OP-1 field as I'm still kind of new learning things and kind of discovering what things I like and don't like and things that are cool, and maybe later on I'll learn even more that's cool. This thing is so packed with stuff, it's hard to narrow anything down to one or two things. And I've never been a huge synth person, but for some reason I'm having a lot of fun messing with the synths in here and being able to shape them. And this little phone effect. So this is what it sounds like without it. I'm using the vintage tape. No, I'm using the cassette tape, the porta capture one. So it's really dirty. Right? And then I'm throwing this on with this. I did changed some settings. Just messing around, just playing whatever. It's some basic 3 triad chords, inverts and stuff. But ooh, that's too deep. Really gritty, and for some reason I love it. This is a built-in sample to our factory preset, which is the Rhodes? No, the suitcase. And then with the effects, if you hit here, you shift 3. That's your effects column. So here's your effects that you have. And you can sample. This reminds me of kind of like the SP, like the resampling thing. Hopefully you can still hear me because my Bluetooth just kind of fell out of my ear and died. So hopefully you're hearing what I'm saying. I'm going to try to put another one in, another Bluetooth in real quick. See if that helps. Okay. So hopefully you're still hearing what I'm saying. But anyway, so you could in theory, like resample your, let's say you want this effect and you want to resample C. You like the way that sounds. Because you could resample that and then make a new instrument if you wanted to. So what I'm saying by that is, like, because you can only use one effect on it, as far as I know, you can only use one effect on the actual sample that's already there. You have to like resample to do that. For me, I'm not tripping because we're talking about one sound, so I'm not really worried about that. If you have an SP, or if you got an iPad, or if you have a computer, you can always use other effects down the road if that's what you really want to do. Technically using 2 effects by using the cassette tape, that is an effect in itself. And then on top of that, putting in, and so if you do shift here, because I heard, and maybe this has changed since they first dropped it, I heard that people were like, but you can't hear, you only heard the regular sound of the instrument until you hit shift and hold this. But whatever I did here, once I did shift this, it turned the effect on, and now I just hear it. I hear the grit in it, in the cassette. And just to see if I'm right or wrong, I might be wrong, but let's just see. This is under tapes, right? I'm going to go back to that's the porta capture. I'm going to go back to the studio. And then we're going to do a new one. Let it load. Yeah, because that's the studio. You hear I clean this. It sounds. Let me see if the effects on it. Hold on. Brain just had a moment. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Yeah, so the effects on it. See, here it is. It's still on it. So then we go. Excuse me. Then we go back to the tape. I'm going to delete this one. To delete, you hold Alt-4. Deletes that tape. We're going to scroll back down to this 4-track. Right here. And press load. And see how the tape's brown? Or golden or whatever you want to call it? I didn't mean to say brown. But whatever. Turn that loop off. If you hold down shift here, it turns the tape orange, which means that it's active, right? The only thing I don't see is how you go back if you wanted to like remove that. This is your input. No. Okay, so it's on, it's on. It's either on or off. When you go to the tape, it's initially off. Just hit shift there, and now you're on, and you can hear what your tape sounds like. This is great sounding. I ain't gonna lie, this sucker sounds so good. I like it a lot. Now, it would be dope, and this could be down the line, if they would add how much cassette you want. So even if it's just one knob or one feature where you could turn the cassette amount, adjust it, how gritty you want it, versus, and they could, thinking about it now, they could add something in here where you could turn how much of it you want. Right now, I don't see it. It's not an option. But maybe down the road. Actually, it's set at a nice level, really. I mean, if I'm being honest, I could be nitpicking, but I think it's set at a nice level. And of course, that depends on the instrument you're using. Let's go back to here. Let's say I want to switch over. Wait, where was I? Sampler. They have an upright. That's what I wanted. Yeah, the upright piano. I like that too. Go back to. So that reset. Oh yeah, shift here resets. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Shift there. Here's the spring reverb. So you at least here you got a mix, right? How much reverb you want. You have that on the mother too, and some other features too. I like the mother because it has more of an ambient kind of sound, and I kind of dig that a little bit. But this one's nice too. I'm shocked how I don't remember it as much on the first one because I think I was so shocked how hard the workflow was at first to me to grasp from at the time when I got it. So I don't remember it as much. But after watching a million videos, it's not that bad. You know, it's really the workflow. It's just remembering all these shift commands that you got to do. That can be probably the most challenging. But once you kind of do it a bunch of times, you start getting used to it. And I think I said punch was like punch on drums. It's not. It's an LFO type vibe. So it's definitely not punch on drums. To me, the best way to do the drums is just bring in good samples that already have the sound you want. And maybe there's somebody they're like an expert at this. They probably know how to get it. But that's how I would do it. Just bring in the quality sounds you want for your drums. And then, yeah, from there you can figure out whatever else you want to. I don't remember what nitro is at all. A filter? This is like a Q. So this is like, yeah, this is like it's almost like an EQ. Take the lows out. Okay. Oh, frequency follows. So this is how much it follows the frequency. You have the high and low. High, low. And then the middle is the frequency, the middle frequency. Oops, I keep changing that. I'm guessing that's like the middle, like the mid frequency. Let's turn it all the way up. Yeah, just push the mids. That's what it sounds like to me. It's pushing the mids. Interesting. I could probably do one video, but I'm kind of doing it now. But I was going to say I could do a video on like each one of these is the grid. But I need to study them myself. I don't want to keep telling y'all wrong stuff so that you have to figure it out later and look at somebody else's videos just to figure it out. Obviously, we know what delay is. And the cow has been on here for a minute. What is cow, though, exactly? Feedback. Oh, it's like a phaser sound. Sounds like a wah-wah almost. And there's a, what do they call it? Is it gyro? Gyro? Euro is what you eat. Gyro. I think it's a gyro when you move it. But I just don't know how to activate it. I know it's in here. I just don't remember how to. I have to look and see how you activate something like that. Oh, maybe it's under here. So shift 4 brings you to this one. And that's random. Velocity, maybe. I'm going to have to look that up. I don't want to tell you something wrong. I know it's in here, though. I've seen people do it in here. Because I think they even had that one in the old one where you can tilt it and play at the same time. Interesting stuff. Value. Tremolo. We know what a tremolo is. Random. MIDI. I wonder if you can MIDI map these knobs, if that's what that's for. I'll have to look into that too more. See what that is about. Because that would be cool because I use this to play my Swam instrument stuff. And I'm always like having to do it with the mouse with this board because it doesn't have a pitch wheel or a mod wheel on it. So if I could make one a pitch and one a mod and just be able to do my stuff with the vibrato on there using this feature, oh man, I'd be ecstatic. But I'm not sure, so I'll have to look that up, to be honest with you. Elements. Oh, that's the source. Okay, so each one of these you change. Adjust. Oh, shift in this. Okay, now I'm confusing. So this is like a fade. Interesting. Loop out, loop in. I'm not sure what that is. Man, there's so much stuff to learn. Goodness. Don't get overwhelmed by it, but I'm just saying there's a lot to learn. Like not like you if you've been on this for a while, probably some of this stuff is like, oh yeah, that's that, this is that. Yeah, but this is not all that easy for the average person. Random. Okay. So I'm going to go here and reset this one just because I want it to be. And are we still on the border capture? Yes, we are. So that's why we got some grit. So cool. All right, moving on. Let's delete that one. So yeah, the porta capture is the cassette, the mini disc. To be honest with you, I think they just get dirtier as you go down. Let's do a new one and try it out, see what it sounds like. I actually like this. I don't know why, but I do. Huh. Sounds extra lo-fi-ish to me. Oh, and you can... Okay, so go watch this. You can, if you don't know what something is, and I don't know why I'm sitting here wondering what something is. That's the beauty of this little bubble right here, is you can hit. Okay, so if you hit it and you see this, it'll tell you your battery, I believe is what it's telling you. But there's a way you can, like if you don't know what something, let's say you go into, let's go back to this tape. And you see that? It'll tell you it's an upright. Or like if you press a note. Hold on. Go back to the tape. So it'll tell you what notes are. Here's your tracks beneath it, you can see. Yeah, we'll get into that later. This is your tempo section if you touch. So if you go into a section, for the most part, you can find out what it is by using this button here, right? That's for tempo and changing on. You can, of course, change the disc speed of the... This is for the metronome. Orange is for the metronome. This particular gray one changes the speed of the tape. If you just do 1-to-1, it's going to be, I think it's just whatever you... So you could record something in. Let's just record something in, and then I'll show you, I'm going to show you the disc speed. So we'll, metronome's at 75 right now. Okay, go back to the tape. Oh, you got to shift here. I keep forgetting that. So shift here. Now you know what the sound's like. That still sounds good to me. Let's just record, so I'm just going to mess around. Oh, wait, you know what I didn't do? Go back. Lift that. I need to turn the metronome on. Why is it not? Yeah, I got to have some ticker or something so I know what I'm doing. All right, so we'll turn that on. Go back to tape. Shift record. Right there. All right, drag back. Cut. When it's orange, you can lift it. So lift it just means remove it, right? But it stays also in like hold for, and a hold. I don't want to confuse you. It stays, it's like when you copy something, right? And then you can paste it later. So it's like I'm cutting it, and then I can paste it down if I want. See, I can drop it right back down if I want to, but I'm going to get rid of it. All right, hit this to return to the top. Now I did a 5-second count, or 4-second, 1 bar count in here. So I know that I'm going to start on the 1. I'm going to cut here. And then when I go back, I'm going to lift this and get rid of it. So now I have a count in. Super easy to make that little 1 bar count in. And then if you want, you can always shift here and go to the first one. Shift, remove, shift, go back. All right. That's your quick way. Instead of doing what I was doing where you're sitting there turning it, just use shift and the arrows. So here you go. It sounds like a record. Maybe I'm mistaken, but maybe I'm mistaken. It doesn't have enough vinyl or something. So I could have done this in the beginning, but I didn't. If you go to the start where you want to hit end, it puts a dot. You can see the little gold dot maybe. then shift, shift, shift. By the way, I'm shifting, hitting the arrow, and then hit out. And now it creates a loop. So here you go. If you want to record over, I believe you hold down this and press play. But the problem why people have complained, you hear people complain about what undo, right? They're like, I want to undo. And I understand why to some degree. It doesn't bother me. Like if I make a mistake and I'm making a 4-bar loop, I'm not tripping. I can go back and replay the thing. But some people will complain because they want, like if you only give me 4 tracks and I got to overdub over the track, then I can't fix it. Now when I delete it, it just deletes the whole thing. And that is so true. It does. So unfortunately, undo would make it a little bit easier to do with 4 tracks. But personally, more than an undo, I would rather just have 4 tracks. Give me 4 extra tracks so I can have at least 8. And then I can put my melody on a separate track. Because I create that way anyway, generally, because I don't always have the whole melody and I'm sitting here and play it out for you. Sometimes I do, but that's rare. So I would rather have 8 tracks over having the undo. Because I figure if you're only doing a 4-bar, what's the big deal? If I hit that, it's gone, right? So of course I'm gonna drop it right back in, boom. But I'm gonna delete this anyway. By the way, I was just doing this for just the purpose of showing. Okay. But anyway, so that was my point. Is that you can see why a person might want to undo if they're gonna play a melody over their chords and they want to be able to remove that if they make a mistake or they don't play it exactly the way they want to, because we're all imperfect and make mistakes. That's for sure. All right. So there you have it. That's my little rant today for 23 minutes of this. Just wanted to show you that. I'm going to delete all these. Boom. Done. And you see I still got 4 tracks in there that I've already put through. I don't think I did anything anywhere else. No. But I am going to start playing with this mini, which I don't really know why I don't know what a disc mini is. I feel like, is that like a DAT recorder? Like a little small, one of those small DAT recorder tape things? I'm going to have to look that up because for some reason that's the one that's got me lost for sure. But I like the sound of all of them. They all sound good. Porta capture, a cassette is what it is. You know, we know what that is. The disc mini is interesting. Probably live in the studio 4-track, probably the most because the cleanest sound, and I prefer to control the dirt. But every now and then, man, what's cool too that I haven't talked about or shown you yet is you can record. Let's say you want to do your track in the studio 4, but you want your drums to have that cassette feel. You can go down to the Porta capture, start a new tape in here, do your 4 sections of drums, and then you can bring them back up to the studio and finish out whatever you're going to do. The problem is because you only have 4 tracks, if you go down there, you're going to have to put those together in one, or you're going to come back up here and you still only have those 4 up here, if that makes sense. It's only 4 tracks, no matter how you look at it. It's just you're putting different reels, right? So this one has 4. You can look right here. That one has 4. That one has 4. This one has 4. This one has 4. They're different songs, but if I wanted to use a different sound, because whenever you record to a tape, it's gonna carry that sound, even if you bring it back to another reel, or if you bring it back to another tape. I'm trying to say that the right way without confusing you. So the Studio 4, you could start something in there. Maybe you lay down a melody or a chord arrangement in there, but you want your drums to have the cassette. Make one in the cassette, record your drums in there, then bring that one back to that 4 or whatever you do, 4, 8, I don't, it's up to you. Bring that back to the studio and it will have that cassette sound in the studio. That's kind of cool. I personally still want 8 tracks just because I know that if I do my drums, I like my drums on separate tracks so that I can mess with them. Now, I will say this though, there's not a lot of there are some master stuff in here, so I'll just do one in here. I'll just do a new one real quick. Okay, that's weird. What is it? Preparing real. Okay, I guess we've had our first moment of where it's doing something weird. Interesting. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to cut it off and cut it back on and see if that helps it. That's a rare find to see it crash because I've been doing it. Let's see what it did. Okay, it created, but for some reason it froze for a second there. Interesting. All right. Hit load. We're here. All right. Not going to sweat that. So back into this. So what I was saying, I hope I can remember what I was saying. Threw me off there for a second. Because yeah, you could in theory loop over everything. I gotta find some more drums. Tried to make my own set, but obviously I don't know what in the world I'm doing, so I won't even go there. We'll use this workshop one. Hold on a second. This is my computer. I'm running it through the computer. That's the reason why I was messing up. Oh, and I turned the OP-1 off. That's what happened. There we go. Ooh, that's loud. All right, so check this out. So we go in here. Let's do 92. Turn the metronome up just a little bit so we hear it. Go back to your tape. I'm going to shift over one. That'll give me the 4-bar loop in or count in. I'm going to start the end marker there. Then I'm going to shift back. And now I have where I'm going to record. So all I have to do is hit this. Okay. Shift back. Chop. Oops, I didn't mean to chop the whole thing. Let's drop that again. Shift back. Cut. Remove. All the way back. It'll take you, or if you just hit the stop, it'll go back to your endpoint start. Hit chop there. Go back one and remove that. So allow to shift there. Boom. Okay. Shift there, hit out. So now you have a loop. And record over it. So here's where it becomes a problem. If you don't turn the volume down, like see, this is the volume right here. If you forget to turn this down, your sound will be pumping out like it was just doing, and then you end up with that, which I don't like. And the reason why is because I forgot to turn it down. When on certain parts, I want it down, right? That's why I usually record stuff separately, because I might want the kick drum to not hit so hard. But if I'm recording it together, everything's hitting at that same value, right? Because there's no velocity sensitivity. So the workaround for that, if you really want to, is use a velocity sensitivity pad of some sort, because this thing here can be plugged in and and you can use a MIDI controller in to control that part of it. So if you want some variation in your drum, so like for me, I would use the SP. But let's say you have Koala on your phone or something on your phone. Now Koala don't have the velocity sensitivity built. I mean, it's in it, but you have to have a controller to control it. It's not on the actual pads. So you could build a drum track in there if you wanted to on your phone, record that into your first track. That way you have a drum reference track, and then just build your other 3 tracks like your bass and your chords, keys, whatever you want to call it, all of that good jazz, right? So there's ways around it. But again, 8 tracks would totally make this, because they want it to be like a portable DAW to some degree. That's what they're making it like, which it is, but it's a 4 track. So it'd be nice. You got those 8 in there. That would be spot on. Obviously 16 would be the perfect solution, and they would never have to worry about anybody complaining about that. That's for sure. If you had 16 tracks, but yeah, it is what it is. It's a software thing they would have to figure out. All right. This video has went way longer than what I wanted it to go, but I just wanted to show you. So let's say you want to do what I was talking about. You turn your volume down. Okay. You go back, you shift back to the beginning, start the record, hold down record, hit play, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1. Right, then you could overdub this way. And adjust your volumes. But because you don't have a way to, you'd have to stop it if you really want to hear. And then go shift back and then do your record again. Okay, do the same thing. Stop, check your. Okay, and then go back to the beginning. Yep. Then go here and go shift. I mean, just go cut. You don't need to go shift. Shift back and then remove that. Now you have that 1 bar count in, hit there, and you automatically go back to your start loop point. So it's easy to make music in this. And now I've been on another 10 minutes, but it's easy to make music in it. It's quick. And if you got any sense of rhythm and any sense of rhythm, like literally any, it's not hard to do that. The challenging part is when you want velocity sensitivity, it's not really there in this key bed. It's there by plugging in something that has velocity sensitivity. So what you can do is, you guys have seen me use tonality. And tonality has the ability to be a controller. And I've talked about that videos way ago. So if you look through my stuff, look under tonality. But I've talked about, you can use tonality as a controller and get that velocity sensitivity. And that's a way you could, in theory, plug in, use your phone, and it's how high you hit up and down, you hit up on the pad, right? And then just set up, a 16 pads or whatever you need to do it, 12 or whatever. 16 would be my ideal situation, but you could do that. Or if you want the physical pads, and use like a SP or use some other type of little small controller. Like if you have the Bird Kids one. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of it. Why is it not coming? It's in all my other videos too. I used to use it. I don't have it anymore. Now I just use the SP. But that bird kit off grid, that's what it's called, the off grid. You can pull that thing out, and that's Bluetooth. So you don't even have to hook it to here. You could just use the Bluetooth function in the OP-1, have it on there, and drum in your drums on that. Because that's the only reason I like that, the off grid, was the velocity sensitivity, and the drum. It was great for that little bitty device, and you could just play your drums in that way. Put in your drums just like I just did, layer them in. Other option is you say, well, I don't want to buy another device. That's stupid. I get it. Then you can put, once you learn how to input your drums, I'll try to get to that once I understand it fully. But you could put in, like this one has 2 hats. Kind of hats. I'm going to call it hats for whatever. Put in multiple hats. Sometimes I use 4. And this is how I used to do with Koala too, before I understood the controller, bringing that in, was I would just have 4 hats and they would all be at different velocities. That's all you need, is them at different velocities. They'll sound like, you know, like you're drumming at different velocities, right? Because you've changed the volume. So you could do that. You could do it on here with 1. So let's say this is all you had. See what I'm doing? Using this knob as the velocity. So let's do that on a separate track. All right, so we're on track 2 now. Track 1's laid. All right, let's go back. We're going to do the count in. This is what we're going to use, and we're going to use this knob. Hear it? All right, let me do this for you. I'm going to mute the first track so you can hear it. Boom. Now you got varied velocity on your thing. If you want to vary it on the kicks or on the snares, do them separate and just do the velocity. So that's a trick. I'm going to do a video about that. That's shorter. I think it would be a cool video just to show people you can do that kind of thing. But I'm going to end this video now because I will keep ranting. And it's been 38 minutes, literally. Can't believe I've talked this long. I'm going to post this video. This is just me having fun, discovering things. I'm going to call it the OP-1 discovery time or something. I don't know. But yeah, something like that. But anyway, it's all part of the journey of learning it. And the journey is fun. Sometimes the journey can be just as fulfilling as playing the actual music, and vice versa. They can both be fun. So anyway, I'm out. Until the next one. Peace.